Hey guys, welcome to this edition of We is Greater Than Me. Today's episode is called Strengthen the Connection. As I continue building on this Lego house, I finished two separate sections. Can you see that? There's two sections here. One is like a kitchen, the other is like a family slash living room. Each room now could stand independently. Each one has its own walls, its own structure, and its own purpose. Technically, they could exist separately. And sometimes that is exactly what happens in organizations. You have different departments, different teams, different classrooms, different ministries, different people doing good work in their own individual separate spaces. Everybody may be functioning, everybody may be accomplishing something, but they're still separate. Then the instructions had me take this small piece. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a small piece right here and place it between the two rooms. This was the connector. It did not look like much. It was not the biggest piece. It was not the most colorful, but it had an important job. This connector caused these two separate rooms to stop functioning as two individual structures and become part of one cohesive unit. They were no longer just two rooms standing beside each other. They were now becoming one house. And that is what connection does in an organization. It brings people together. It allows people who may have different roles, different responsibilities, different personalities, and different experiences to become part of one shared mission. Once I connected the two rooms, they covered twice as much space. They became larger together than either one of them could be alone. They also became stronger. The weight could be shared. The support could be shared. The pressure did not have to rest on one section or the other. This is what a healthy team is supposed to look like. One person should not have to carry the entire organization. One teacher should not have to carry the entire classroom. One employee should not have to carry the entire department. One pastor should not have to carry the entire church. One leader should not have to carry the entire vision. When we are connected, we share responsibility, we share the pressure, we share the work, and we share the victories. But after I joined the two pieces together, I still wasn't finished. The instructions had me connect the beginning of the new room to the completed room first. Then, after the connection was made, they told me to continue building the new structure, which is this one over here. That made me stop and think. The instructions did not tell me to completely finish the new room and then connect it to the rest of the house. They had me connect it while it was still being built. The connection came before the continued growth. The new section had to be connected to something established before it could be made stronger. This is a lesson many organizations need to understand. Sometimes we expect new people to come in already knowing everything. We expect them to understand the culture. We expect them to understand the systems. We expect them to know who to ask, what to do, and how everything works. Then we say, let us know if you need anything. But healthy organizations do more than tell people where they belong. They intentionally connect them. They give them someone to walk beside, someone to answer questions, someone to offer support, someone to help them grow. That is mentoring. That is onboardship. That is leadership. People should not have to become fully developed before they are allowed to feel like part of a team. That doesn't work. Sometimes people need to belong while they are still becoming. The completed room did not become less valuable because it was connected to a room that was still under construction. Instead, its strength helped support the new section as it continued to grow. That is what experienced team members should do. Their knowledge should help strengthen others. Their experience should help guide others. Their presence should help stabilize others, not intimidate them, not isolate them, not make them feel like they have to prove that they deserve to be in the house. Connection should create a safe place for growth. But there was still another lesson. When I reached the final part of the new edition, I noticed a piece at the top that matched the connector at the bottom. The instructions had me connect the two rooms again. There was a connector at the bottom, and now there was another connector at the top. The second connection made the entire structure even stronger. And I realized that the builder never assumed that one connection was enough. The rooms were connected at the beginning, but as the structure grew, the connection also had to be reinforced. That is true in organizations too. One team building activity is not enough. One staff retreat is not enough. One welcome meeting is not enough. One encouraging conversation is not enough. One apology, not enough. One moment of unity cannot sustain a team forever. As the organization grows, the connection has to grow too. We have to keep communicating, keep checking in, keep listening, keep encouraging, keep supporting, keep building trust, because growth creates pressure. New responsibilities create pressure. Change in leadership creates pressure. New expectations create pressure. Success itself can create pressure. And what held the team together in the beginning may need to be strengthened as the organization continues to build. I also noticed that the connector at the top matched the connector at the bottom. To me, that represents consistency. The values that brought us together in the beginning should still be values holding us together as we grow. If respect was important at the beginning, it should still be important at the end. If communication was important at the foundation, it should still be important as the organization grows and expands. If trust helped us begin, trust should continue to guide us. We cannot say that people matter when we are building the foundation and then forget about them once the organization becomes successful. We cannot talk about teamwork when we need help and then return to individual agendas once the pressure is gone. The values at the top should match the value at the bottom. Because the higher we build, the stronger our connections need to be. This part of the house is still only the bottom floor. It is part of the foundation, but it is also part of the support for everything that will eventually be built above it. If these connections are not strong, everything added later will be unstable. So before we focus on becoming bigger, we need to ask whether we are becoming stronger. Before we add more programs, more employees, more goals, and more responsibilities, we need to examine the relationships holding the organization together. Are we simply working beside one another, or are we truly connected? Are we giving people a place to belong while they grow? Are we continuing to strengthen the relationships that helped us get started? Are the values at the top still matching the values at the bottom? You see, a house is not strong simply because it has a lot of rooms. It is strong because those rooms are intentionally connected. And a successful organization is not simply a collection of talented people. It is a group of people who understand that their strength increases when they are connected to one another. So do not just make connections, strengthen them. Because the house did not become stronger simply because the walls became taller. It became stronger because every new level was supported by an even stronger connection. The higher we build, the stronger our connections need to become. Because success does not automatically pull people together. Strong connections are what hold success together. And that is what we is greater than me is all about.